What's up, Cosmic Fam? It's your girl Cosmic Jazz 222, and today I am back with another World's Prediction Tarot reading for 2026. So I'm going to be looking into what's about to pop off in 2026 and what we need to know. So I'm excited, a little bit nervous because, 2025 was not an easy year. Let me know your stories in the comment section. Like, how was 2025 for you overall? I would love to read it. But I hope you guys are doing amazing nevertheless. So for those of you guys who are returning, welcome back, Cosmic Fam. It's so good for y'all to be here. And for those of y'all who are just coming across my channel for the first time, welcome. So I just want to put out some disclaimers before we begin. Everything I say is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, and I'm just going based off of my own intuitive downloads with the cards I will be pulling on camera, as well as my knowledge of some of the transits that will be happening in 2026. So that means not every single thing is going to resonate. So my advice, just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And, you can have your beliefs about what's to come, but I'm just coming through this video with my own intuitive thoughts and downloads. Okay, guys? So let's get right into it. First of all, 2025 was quite interesting. We're still in the year of the wooden snake. And this was definitely a year of transformation and shedding a lot of old timelines. However, what we have seen throughout time and history, for some reason, the year of the snake, there's always something happening. There's always something major. And we've seen a lot happening this year. I would say 2026, I feel like on a personal level for many people will be a better year. Are we still going to be dealing with changes and very confusing times? Yes. However, I feel like overall, we might be experiencing a better outcome to our own journeys, our own timing. So there is a pause. I do feel a little bit more optimistic about 2026. We will be entering the year of the fire horse. So a lot of things will be wrapping up. I also want to mention, guys, before I pull the overall energy real quick, 2025 was a 9-year. So again, tying in with the snake imagery or the snake symbolism, this was a time for us to close out cycles and really break into new skin. 2026, on the other hand, is a 1 year. So this is all about new beginnings. This is all about taking the initiative, taking action, and possibly having a new slate. Okay. So overall, you guys might be feeling a little bit better about 2026. What's the overall theme surrounding 2026 for the entire world? Okay, so this wanted to come out sideways. This is material harvest, but it came out sideways. So depending on where you're at in the world and what's going on in your personal life, I'm seeing a divide here. Okay, with material harvest, we also have passion ignited. This is technically the Ace of Wands. So yes, I am seeing new beginnings happening, like a new cycle. There's something different about 2026 that completely contrasts of what we went through in 2025. But I'm seeing a split. What do I mean by this? There's something about, I'm going to say, a distribution of wealth or income. What we're going to see, yes, a lot of people are going to be taking the initiative to make things happen for them, especially on a personal level. So I'm going to start personal real quick. We're going to see a lot of people taking the initiative. A lot of people will have the opportunity in the doorways to make those things happen. Anything you've been working on for the past couple years, even this year, but just hasn't stuck to the wall yet, I do believe 2026 is when you finally see progress or signs that this thing is actually working. It's actually in your favor. Now, the reason why I keep seeing a split, because this came out sideways for some reason, I'm seeing like a big gap, especially when it comes to income and like socioeconomic status, which does worry me. I'm not sure if this is specific to a couple countries or worldwide, but we're going to see there's a great division regarding who has like financial stability versus who's struggling due to economic issues, due to the workforce, what's happening in every individual country. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to this, which, okay, fine. Now, I also see something about consumerism. There's going to be talks about how we're either misusing resources, which we already been talking about, but I think we're actually going to see the impacts of us overusing or overdoing something. Because I keep seeing indulge, I keep hearing the word indulging. We're overindulging, we're overconsuming, we're digging too much, we're cutting down too many trees, where our resources is kind of running out. I'm not sure if this is like multiple or this is like a specific resources, mineral, maybe plant, food. We're gonna see some type of sign that like, hey, we really need to slow down. So I'm already getting people are gonna be very, very adamant about climate stuff, environmental protection. We're gonna see more groups advocating to protect wildlife, to protect our resources, and even how we're getting those resources. Now, I do want to mention this kind of aligns with the transits that will be happening next year. We will have Chiron, the planet of the wounded healer, trauma, all of that, entering the sign of Taurus, which rules over the actual earth, our resources, money. So we're definitely going to be seeing some wounding or financial trauma and even environmental trauma when this transit happens. I think this is like around the end of spring, summertime. I think that's when Chiron will officially transit into Taurus. So keep that in mind, guys. But that's what I'm getting so far. I'm gonna put the cards over here. Now, interesting. You see how it's the number 9 and, 2025 is a 9-year. And then we also have number 1, which is the number of 2026. If you add up all the numbers, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, that equals 10. But then when you reduce it down, it equals to 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So again, this is just tying back to the numerology of all of it. So what I'm going to do now is pull some cards, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to pull a total of 12 cards, and this is going to coincide with the 12 houses in astrology. Each house in astrology pertains to a specific aspect of reality and daily life. So I'm going to be basically kind of doing a birth chart, a tarot birth chart for the world in 2026. So we're going to first start off with the first house, and this deals with the global identity, how we are collectively showing up, how we are presenting ourselves as humanity, the tone, the mood. What is our attitude in 2026 for the world? We have the 10 of Cups. Okay. Second house. How is the global finance, currency, and resources are going to look like? Distribution of wealth, financial and material priorities, food, land, and agriculture, the environment. How is that looking? International economy. The Tower, as expected. The third house, the culture surrounding social media, journalism, transfer of information, our local communities, and most importantly, education. Okay, the Chariot. All right. Fourth house, energy surrounding borders, national borders, housing, the structure of families, family units, roots, ancestors, the internal stability of every nation. We have Judgment, okay. Energy surrounding the fifth house. This deals with the entertainment industry, celebrity culture, the youth, talents. Okay, the King of Pentacles reverse. Oh, we about to get into that. No worries, y'all. Okay, the sixth house, energy surrounding health, the healthcare system globally, employment, daily workforce, routines, even pets, animals, energy surrounding that. We have Temperance. Okay. Now the seventh house, energy surrounding global alliances, treaties, agreements, justice system, fairness, compromise, or wars, open enemies. We have the World. Energy surrounding the eighth house. This is dealing with secrets coming to light, shadow work, death and rebirth, shared resources. Two of Wands. Okay, the ninth house. Energy surrounding religion and spiritual awakening, philosophy, global travel, immigration, culture. Seven of Wands. Give me a second, y'all. We're almost done. The 10th house, energy surrounding the reputation, public figures in the global atmosphere, world leaders, political climate, what's happening on the world stage. I keep seeing the number 8. Oh, there's a lot of karma in this aspect. Okay. Two of Pentacles reversed. 11th house, the energy surrounding AI, tech, humanitarian movement, social activism. Okay. Justice. Ooh, okay. And then the 12th house, the energy surrounding global healing, hidden spiritual messages, and the energy surrounding the spiritual atmosphere of the world, the unseen. We have the 4 of Pentacles reverse. Ooh, okay. Now the overall energy is the Death card. Oh, okay. So we are completing cycles and starting new ones. I feel like we are ready. So with the Death energy, this is what we were going through in 2025. But we are going through a bit of a rebirth in 2026. Okay. So let me just sit with this real quick. So let's start with the 10 of Cups. This is dealing with the overall vibes of the collective. What I do appreciate is there's an emphasis on community and family. I'm seeing for next year, there's going to be a huge push to work as a collective and to really look after each other. 10 of Cups is even speaking of happy endings, but what we want for the next generation. So we're going to see people kind of moving back into focusing on family, even though Jupiter has been transiting throughout Cancer, and it's still going to transit through Cancer throughout the early parts of next year, but eventually it's going to transit into Leo. And Leo does rule over children. So there's an emphasis on how we are raising our kids and what we are exposing them to. And there's a high priority on protecting children and the family unit. So I see a lot of people, and we're going to see this globally, people wanting to help kids or wanting to help stabilize family, but not just family. What I'm hearing in my mind is it takes a village to raise the next generation. So we're going to see more communities coming together with the emphasis of raising the next generation to be very much like open-minded individuals, but individuals that value the importance of connections and being a human, prioritizing humanity, which I do appreciate. We will see a baby boom next year. More people are going to be wanting families or to establish their families. But others will be hesitant, almost like, why would I want to bring kids into a world like this? But we're going to see a baby boom next year, especially when Jupiter enters Leo. I think that's around Leo season. I could be completely wrong, but I got to get my timelines in check. But yes, when Jupiter enters Leo, definitely seeing more pregnancies, more kids, just like a highlight on that. Now, let's get into this second house. This is dealing with the economy, currency, food, land, environments. Like I said before, when Chiron enters Taurus, we're going to see wounding surrounding that. The Tower is saying there's a breakdown. Now, here's the crazy thing. Before I was even recording this video and I was just like pre-shuffling the cards, right? I kept hearing Mayday, like Mayday, and that's a distress signal. And then after Mayday, I was hearing crash and burn. So we're going to see some type of economic crash next year. I'm not sure if this is dealing with currency. This could be the breakdown of one currency and the rise of another. We're going to possibly see that next year. But I'm seeing some type of economic crash. And that's why I kept seeing like a split. We're going to have those who are acquiring a lot of wealth. And then there's going to be a significant amount of people without, like, lacking resources. It's almost like the middle class is like dwindling. It's either you got everything or you don't. So we most definitely will see more struggles, unfortunately. Hopefully, I'm praying that's not the case, but since Chiron is entering Taurus next year, we're going to see scarcity regarding our resources. I'm also seeing issues with the earth itself. I keep seeing weather, like there's issues with the weather, there's issues with climate. I'm also seeing something about droughts, because next year is the year of the fire horse. It's crazy. We got horses here too. It's the year of the fire horse, fire. So I'm seeing fire, like hot, very humid, hot weather. Droughts. It's like lack of rain, but then there's going to be other places that are going to be getting more rain, more storms than normal. So we're going to see shifts with the earth itself. But I keep seeing there's a resource that we really need to be conservative with. I'm also seeing people's priorities with money will be changing. Certain things, for example, that were said to be of high value or it costs a lot. I don't know why I'm seeing like designer brands, for example. This could be tying in with the fashion industry. But when it comes to materialism, certain things will be losing its value, I'm saying. Like there's a breakdown. The whole point with Chiron entering Taurus is to get us very clear of what truly deserves value, what deserves our attention and priority, especially when it comes to our financial stability versus what doesn't. There are certain things that we don't really need. It's not necessary and it shouldn't cost that much to just obtain. So we're going to see people resorting to cheaper options. That's like something coming through. No longer prioritizing, oh, I need to have this amount of cars or I need to get this expensive thing. I'm wondering if designer brands like high fashion is going to go out of style, because there's something about with the divide I'm seeing, like class. It's like class divides. I'm not saying it's going to be to the extreme, but we're going to start to notice like, okay, why is a lot of people, like a group is getting a lot of wealth and the others are just struggling. So there's a difference, and people don't want to be associated with like being high class. I think there's also dealing with Pluto and Aquarius. There's a focus on helping humanity and being humble. So people are going to be resorting to like cheaper options or just dressing regular, like not trying to make a statement because they don't want to attract attention. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but it's all about, can you relate to the people? Can you relate to everyday human beings versus just this 1%? People are not going to try to keep up with the Joneses. Like they're not trying to do that. Okay. I feel like the agriculture industry, there's going to be some issues with that. It could be relating to the changes in climate or the changes in environment. Maybe there's something's wrong with the soil. Could be due to pollution and poisoning, but we might see resources with food being a little bit scarce. Like there's issues with that. So be on the lookout. Okay. Now let's get into the third house. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Now the third house, social media, journalism, and then education. Okay, so I do feel like this industry is going to be booming. And I think it's due to Uranus re-entering Gemini next year. We're going to see a lot more people getting into journalism. And there's definitely I'm seeing a split again. There's those who prioritize truth and trying to relay truthful evidence to the collective versus those who are rage baiting or trying to have a clickbait. So we're going to see a difference between the two. Now, the one thing about Uranus and Gemini, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like either people are wanting good for the collective and others are trying to mislead those. So you're going to see a split. People believing this one person and then others believing this other person. There's definitely a back and forth, but however, I'm seeing some type of movement with journalism and reporting. There's actually going to be progress or innovation with the way we relay information to other people, the way we spread news. Now, when it comes to transportation, I'm also getting there might be a new form of transportation breaking through next year, and that's pretty on par with Uranus and Gemini. And this also deals with like technology. So we might see some type of improvement with the way we travel, which I like. I'm specifically seeing cars because the chariot can deal with a vehicle. So this can be dealing with how we travel through cars or trains. Maybe there's an increase in speed because the chariot's like boom, movement. So we might be seeing faster ways of traveling next year, which, okay, cool. That's nice. Now, when it comes to education, again, this is tying back to like journalism and media, making sure you're feeding the next generation real, historic, truthful facts versus things that have been manipulated over the years. We're definitely gonna, okay, I definitely feel there's gonna be a highlight on misinformation, especially with what we are teaching to the next generation. So we might see corrections happening like with textbooks, but in this case, a lot of people use iPads and computers. So just like changes in text, that's gonna be highlighted. Okay. All right. Now, social media, I'm also seeing more social media platforms being developed. So I know, for example, we got Instagram, TikTok, and all that, the norms, right? But I feel like there's going to be another social media platform being developed or will be published next year. And it could be surrounding, again, the way we provide information, journalism, media, how we are reporting on things. So at this point, the collective wants truth. They want unbiased truth. So we're going to see a platform dedicated to that, something that is unbiased, because a lot of the stuff we have nowadays, there's a huge amount of bias in it. So we're going to see a development of a platform where people prioritize truth. Okay, so I like that. Now let's get into the fourth house. So this is how nations are feeling about themselves, prioritizing like national identity, housing, family units. Now, I must say, judgment, there's going to be a judgment call on how nations are interacting with each other, especially with borders. I do still see issues with borders, nations fighting, all alleged for entertainment purposes only, or at least arguing over what's theirs and what isn't. Now, the judgment card also deals with support. So, and I mentioned this year, one of my predictions was alliances will be changing in some way. So this still stands. Because of each nation has their own individual values, they're going to prioritize alliances that align with those values. So we're still going to see movements and changes in national alliances. We're going to get to that later with the seventh house, but we're going to see changes with that. And I keep seeing nations are doing things that will benefit their own country, but it might end up overstepping the boundaries of other countries. I'm also seeing, I'm hearing criticizing and ridicule. If there's a specific nation that is overstepping their boundaries, there's going to be global ridicule. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing ostracizing, isolation. So nations will be isolated if they try to overstep their boundaries. But that most definitely can lead to conflict. So, and that's the one thing about the year of the horse. It's all about fast movement, people taking action, people being over their heads, in over their heads. So it could be these public leaders, these world leaders trying to overstep their boundaries, and that causes some type of internal conflict. So be on the lookout for that. Now let's get into the fifth house. Lord, this is what I was waiting for. The fifth house deals with art, music, fashion, celebrity culture, and also the youth. All right. The King of Pentacles is reversed. The King of Pentacles is usually somebody with money. This is somebody who has class, someone who looks expensive, someone with all this wealth, financial wealth. But I also see this as like CEOs or those running the top dogs. Next year, we're going to see more exposures, of course, regarding celebrity cultures. There's possibly a specific man, could be a potential Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or it's happening during those seasons. There's a masculine who is pretty well off, like he's wealthy, he has a lot of control, a lot of influence. He's going to be getting exposed next year. Don't know who this is. This could be somebody in the industry. But I'm also saying we are no longer prioritizing celebrity culture. Like celebrities are going to be losing their influence. And it's like people are not going to be fixated on them no more. I mean, of course, we're still going to be paying attention, right? But it's just we're not prioritizing what's happening in another person's life that's in a completely total social bracket, and they don't have the same experiences or struggles like us common people. So we don't care about them anymore. And they're losing their influence. I also see with the King of Pentacles reverse, we are no longer centralizing ourselves to trying to be like these celebrities or trying to keep up with them or trying to be in the same proximity as them, because now we're in the age of Aquarius. We don't care about keeping up with the Joneses. We don't care about all that anymore. We don't. It's about how can we connect with community? What can we do to be with each other? Okay, what can we do to help each other? That's the priority. So decentralizing celebrity culture, and we're going to see a lot of changes in the music industry specifically, but also entertainment industry. I'm also seeing acting running out of money. We're going to see celebrities trying to branch out into different industries. They, like, for example, if we're dealing with a musician or a rapper or a singer, you're going to start seeing them doing a lot of brand deals or I guess transitioning to other fields, other career fields. Like, you know who's coming to mind? You know how Kim Kardashian is trying to become a lawyer? So you're going to see instances like that, like celebrities trying to change their career field. All right. Now, when it comes to children, I keep seeing like a lot of kids, like a baby boom. But the issue is people are going to be afraid if they can even afford having kids. So that's going to be a topic of discussion. There could be some discussions about what does it take to be a stable parent? Like, that's something coming through. This could also be tying in with the judgment. What does it take to be a good parent? And how should we start raising our kids? So that's another highlight. Now let's get into the 6th house. This is Temperance, which I do appreciate. Temperance is all about patience, doing things with patience and understanding there is a method to everything. There's a step-by-step process, and it's all about rebalancing. So I actually feel we're going to see some improvements with healthcare next year, but also with employment and work. People will be prioritizing work-life balance, and we might be seeing some changes but prioritizing not just physical health, but mental health, emotional health, and making sure everybody has a decent work-life balance. People are no longer going to want to work long hours. Like, for example, in the healthcare system, I do see a change with the amount of hours that are being worked. I'm also seeing more people transitioning into jobs they actually enjoy or jobs they resonate with. I keep seeing the medical field. I do see more people wanting to get involved. So yes, doctors, this could be nurses, PAs, medical assistants, therapists. I'm seeing definitely a focus on healing. And I think this ties back to the overall collective identity. We want to establish connections and community. So we're going to see more people wanting to get involved with fields dealing with healing. What I'm seeing with this card, and I always say this, every time I see the Temperance, specifically in this deck, I keep hearing Earth Angels. I always think of Earth Angels. So we're going to see more Earth Angels entering those fields and really trying to push this movement regarding prioritizing emotional, spiritual, and mental health. And we're going to see like more holistic approaches to health. Definitely seeing that. Okay, that's nice. Now let's get into the 7th house, child. All right, so the 7th house is global partnerships and diplomacy. Okay, so we got the World, which, I mean, it's kind of funny because we are dealing with global alliances with the World here. This is all about completing and wrapping up the cycles, endings. I would say for the most part, here, let me clarify this. I don't think there's going to be, okay, I feel like there's going to be a temporary period of peace. And I say that very loosely. I'm talking about there's not going to be any major conflicts. We're going to see a moment of unity. Why? We'll see. I think it's kind of tying back to the four of Pentacles here, reverse. This is the 12th house. But we're going to see certain alliances coming to an end. We're going to see changes regarding what nations are aligning with who. And this even deals with trade. This deals with like even immigration to a certain extent. But there is a highlight on how we are interacting with each other globally. But I'm not really getting a bad energy from the world. I'm just seeing certain conflicts we'll see come to a temporary end. Like I keep hearing silence. There's a silence, which I don't like silences because sometimes it's the silence before the storm. So I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to see any conflict at all, but when it comes to like major conflicts, I'm not really seeing that just of yet. But again, energy can change. I'm just seeing like things coming full circle and there's some form of unity. But I don't think it's actual unity. It's more, oh, we're doing it just to delay, just to delay the inevitable. So take that as you will. There's going to be a lot of highlights on trying to compromise, at least, because things have escalated this year. So we're going to see a huge push in trying to maintain peace overall. There's a alliance being highlighted, though, that will be rising. And they represent unity. But again, depending on what side you're on, you may see this as a good thing or a bad thing. So take that as you will. Resonate with that. Anyways, let's get into the 8th house. So the 8th house deals with secrets coming to light, death, rebirth, shadow work, just major transformation globally. 2 of Wands, I don't really see any push towards major changes, but there is plans set into place. 2 of Wands all about planning. It's also just with friction. So like I said, I'm not saying there's not going to be conflict at all. I still feel some tension here. It's like we're trying to keep the peace just for the sake of everybody. But I do see a lot of world leaders trying to hold back, trying to hold their tongue. There is tension. I'll say the one thing that's going to be very much highlighted is the tension between countries, especially with borrowing money. That's going to be a highlight for sure. And this could be even dealing with scamming, I'm hearing. Scamming or countries taking advantage of other countries with resources. I'm hearing exploitation. So there is tension surrounding that specifically. And that's going to be talked about. What's more ethical? What's considered ethical? So that's one tension I would say that's coming up to the surface. Now, let's get into the 9th house. Fun. This dealing with religion and spiritual awakenings, philosophy, even global travel, immigration, higher education, and collective beliefs. The 7 of Wands is reversed. This is all about losing protection. Losing protection or being knocked off your pedestal, being vulnerable, unable to advocate for yourself, being unable to stand your ground. Okay, so I would say when it comes to religion, a lot of people are going to be having some type of major shift, almost a rude awakening with their beliefs. I'm hearing like certain people are going to have, or certain groups are going to have issues defending their beliefs because it gets like some aspects of it gets proven wrong due to facts, due to what gets revealed. So people's religion or spiritual beliefs will be changing because they no longer can defend it. It doesn't align with their values. It doesn't align with what's divinely seen as truth, divine goodness, divine fairness. That's interesting. I'm hearing the phrase, we're peeling it layer by layer, peeling it back. We're peeling everything back. So there's going to be major revelations surrounding beliefs with religions. Certain doctrines are going to be put into question. And I'm even seeing some of the most skilled historians or the skilled like religious leaders are going to have issues like defending their belief because it goes against some type of divine order. I don't know what that is, but child, take what resonates with that. Now, when it comes to higher education, there's issues with, this ties back to the second house. There's issues with affording higher education. There's going to be a push to try to make it more affordable. Now, this could be, I know this could be most definitely the United States that's being highlighted, but it could be somewhere else, like other countries. But push to make higher education affordable, knowledge more affordable to the collective. Now, let's get into the 10th house. Two of Pentacles reverse, imbalance. There's imbalances with the political climate. Are we surprised? No. We're going to see some interesting interactions among political leaders, global leaders next year. Very tense exchanges I'm seeing. It goes back to resources, like the exchange. So we're going to see a highlight on exports, like once again, exports, imports, who's borrowing whose money. And we're also going to see a crackdown on reputation. Certain leaders are going to be seen as unfit. So we're going to, oh Lord, certain leaders are going to be seen as unfit. So we're going to see the collective advocating for change regarding leadership. What leader is for the people and what leader is for the 1%? So we're going to see that difference there. And again, it ties back to the second house. Everything is tied to money. Like every single thing is tied to money and wealth. Now, the 11th house, technology, AI, humanitarian movements. We have justice here, period. So first and foremost, I do see when it comes to AI, there's going to be major regulations. There's going to be major regulations, or at least certain policies set to place regarding technology. Like, because technology will be advancing a lot next year. I'm definitely seeing that. But when it comes to AI, there's a lot of concern regarding how it's being used and, again, what's being done to keep these AI generators moving and functioning. So there's something here about fairness and making sure it's regulated. So I keep saying I keep hearing regulation. So somehow AI and tech is getting heavily regulated. Now, when it comes to humanitarian movements and social activism and community, and basically how we're changing the future, a lot of people are going to want what's fair and equal. There's a push for equality. There's a push and trying to even shift the justice system, like make changes, because there's a lot of corruption. Every country's experiencing this. There's major corruption. So there's a push. I do feel more protests next year, but there might be changes in policies, certain policies, and it's due to activism. So your voice, collective, if you're someone who wants to push for change, social change, your voice will be very powerful next year. I see a lot of people taking action, speaking out. When I was shuffling my Oracle deck, I kept seeing the throat chakra. So your voice will be very important. I think that's also tying back to Pluto in Aquarius, and also, Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. Now, I also want to mention, since the throat chakra is being activated, the world has its own chakra system as well. And the throat chakra of the earth is located in Egypt, I believe. So Northern Africa, the Middle East, that area is being highlighted. That's going to be a highlight for next year as well. Okay, anyways, now 12th house. This is dealing with karma, endings, collective spirituality. We have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is very interesting. The Four of Pentacles is all about being more open and receptive, as well as getting out of your comfort zone. So I actually see, tying back to the 9th house, people's beliefs will be changing. People are going to be more open about different belief systems. We're going to see a push in religious tolerance. Is that going to be successful? I don't know, because I still see pushback. Like, I see people trying to advocate for their own beliefs, trying to defend their beliefs, which they have every right to do so. But because it's like lack of facts, lack of truth, people are going to realize, dang, the religion I've been following, it doesn't align with me. Or the spiritual practice I've been doing, it doesn't make sense. So there's going to be a push in trying to learn or be more tolerant of other cultures and spiritual practices. But there is a bit of a spiritual awakening happening next year. We're going to be seeing things like there's going to be certain experiences and events happening next year that's going to make a lot of people question their beliefs. It's already happening, but we're going to see more. It's stuff we can't even comprehend. So it's like, what do I believe at this point? Okay, I'm going to clarify what this is. Yeah, the Hierophant specifically will organize religions. We're going to see more people stepping away from organized religions next year to become more spiritual. But I also see others becoming more like agnostic or atheist. We're going to see more people like that, but more tolerant. Okay. Yeah, I just split the deck. We got crown chakra. So this is your spiritual understanding of things. And I also feel like this ties back to community, people being less greedy or stingy with their time, their services, their resources. We're going to see more people being more generous because of their spiritual awakening. So I like that. I keep seeing a focus on earth angels and spirituality and just dissolving very unhealthy systems and hierarchies. We're going to pull a oracle card. This is from the Starseed deck. I feel like it's necessary. Let's see what else. What else does the collector needs to know? That's funny. I literally pulled this card for my Instagram post regarding 2026. It says baby steps, action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. So we're going to see a lot of action being taken next year. And it's for the good of humanity. But we will still experience setbacks and delays and pushback. However, we're going to see more progress, especially the progress we've been wanting and praying for. Okay, can I get another card? Surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. So again, people are prioritizing enjoying life instead of working themselves to death, working long hours, trying to prioritize keeping up with like celebrities and the wealthy. People want to experience, like I even see people being outside more, connecting with those naturally, wanting to connect with other people. So that's beautiful. Also, the fact that Venus is showing up, Venus energy, I do believe Venus will be going retrograde next year. And that's a time where we review our understanding of love, relationships, and our own values, because Venus rules over all of that. Maybe that's when we're going to see changes with the fashion industry. I'm also getting a lot of fashion aesthetics. It's going to be geared towards the daily, like the common person. We might be seeing even like high-end brands trying to appeal to those that can't afford them. Like it's weird. There's definitely a push to be more humble. Like that's what I'm getting. Not be all like fancy and looking like your money, there's no more of a push for that. Or I guess it's going to take a back seat. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to do is pull from my conspiracy deck that I made. So just close up a couple cards and then we're going to end off the reading. Hope you guys enjoyed the reading so far. We have Revelation. Revelation and then visions. Yeah, a lot of people's spiritual abilities are either going to awaken or be upgraded in some way, the soul. Wow, so this is saying there's a lot of spiritual revelations with people's individual soul journeys, cosmic union. Oh, people are going to be connecting. So I'm getting a highlight on divine partnerships, divine unions. I know so many people that got married and engaged this year in 2025, but next year I'm seeing a highlight on divine counterparts coming together. It could be due to, the North Node still being in Pisces, but it will transition into Aquarius, I believe. So we're going to see divine counterparts coming together, but their mission is to uplift the collective as a unit. Fantasy. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's one thing I do like. Community. Guys, I love this. So this ties back to the first house with the 10 of Cups. Community will be everything next year. So a good way to utilize the energy of 2026, guys, especially if you feel like you've been in isolation. Next year will be a good time to start connecting with people. Putting yourself out there if you haven't dated yet. I would say don't. If you haven't put yourself out there yet in 2025, just lay low. We only have a month away or a month left. But next year, a lot of people will be not only meeting soulmates, but their soul tribe, their soul family. Akashic records came out too. Wow, okay. People will be activated through the soul contracts, destiny. So a lot of destined connections will be happening next year. People will also receive revelations on their soul journey, their mission on earth, purification. Wow, so the collective as a whole is going through a soul purification process. Our priorities are getting checked. Our priorities are being reshaped, refined. We're realizing what matters as a collective. And then we even have energy vampires. So we're purging ourselves collectively of energy vampires. People tying themselves to us, leeching off of us. People, yeah, it's like our priorities are getting in check. Okay. Distractions. And this energy has been distracting a lot of people. But I see people waking up, realizing their worth, and thus that's how communities come together. So you're not supposed to get along with everybody, but next year you're going to be noticing what you resonate with more. Source, tapping back into source. So next year, although it's the year of the fire horse, it's very spiritual. It's a very spiritual year. So, okay. Well, that's good. I like that. Contracts. Soul contracts. Interesting. I'm actually excited for that. So that's a blessing. I would say that's a blessing for next year. I also think Venus retrograde is happening in either Libra or Scorpio. I need to recheck that. But good news, the blessing of 2026 is community and divine partnerships. I'm even seeing people from across the globe are going to be finding their partners overseas. Because I keep seeing travel will be upgraded in some way. So people will be more open to other cultures and beliefs. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, so we're going to see more like interracial, intercultural marriages or partnerships. People wanting to connect with those that are completely different from them. We're going to see a rise in that. So I'm seeing more people traveling overseas and meeting their partners. Or traveling long distance. Or they're just dealing with people who are completely different. Like, you may think they have nothing in common, but they have a lot in common, actually. Especially with their mission. All right. Okay, I'm just rambling at this point. Initiation. This is giving Hierophant energy. So, I hope this provided some context and some form of clarity to you guys. I know this is a little bit of a longer reading, but hey, I had to. Let me know how you like the format. Do you think I should continue with this format or revert back to just like going based off of vibes? You guys let me know in the comment section. But I might post another video regarding the transits or like a collective pick a card reading for 2026. So anyways, with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye.